Okay, for this effect I've created, this is actually an any card at any number effect. But I know these have been done to death. There's so many methods of any card at any number tricks. But what I'm really hoping how this will stand out from the rest is that the randomly selected card at the randomly selected number in the deck will actually be a merely thought of card that will not be revealed till the very last second by the spectator after the cards have been dealt down to their random number, and before the card is turned over, right at that last moment, the spectator for the first time will reveal their thought of card, and when the card's turned over, it will prove to match to be the perfect soulmate to the card that they've thought of. So it's really quite a powerful trick. It's a very easy trick, but very powerful. I hope you like it as much as I enjoyed creating this one. Now, this is actually I was inspired to create this effect around an incredibly genius mathematical principle that I've learned from James Grime, which most of you have heard of as Singing Banana on YouTube. Anyways, it's not some cheesy, lame mathematical thing you might be thinking of to get a number or a forced card or whatever. This is just absolutely genius. So I had to utilize this in this card trick. So I hope for those of you who recognize this principle in this card trick that you at least find this intriguing as a card effect. And for those of you who haven't heard of it, well, I hope this really just blows you away. Should surprise you. So, first off, what I would do is I would use this sort of pattern based around the idea to do an experiment about the relationship between numerology and soulmates. And it's really important that we use the term soulmates, and I'll tell you why in the tutorial, but we'll get into that later. But anyways, what I would do is I'd have the spectator just take the calculator, and actually first off I would have them mention what color they resonate with the most. It's important that they have a color in mind so that they can attract the soulmate to that color. So let's just say they choose black. So I would then ask them to generate a random card around that color. So to do this, I would instruct them to just punch in random numbers in the calculator and to multiply each number in turn until they get an answer that is somewhere between 1 million and 1 billion, a big random number answer. So let's just say they punch in 4 times 8 times 5 times 6 times 9 times 8 times 2 times 3. I promise you this is completely random. Times 7 times 4. And they're doing this, and I can't see what they're doing. Times 2 equals... Okay, so they get this random. We could make it a little bigger. Say it's times 8 times 2. Okay, so we've got this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 digit number. I hope you can see that okay. Completely random number, and again, as the performer, I don't see what they're doing. I don't see the numbers they're punching in. I have no influence in any of the numbers they're choosing. They've just come up with this completely big random number. I would then ask them to think of any one of those numbers, and that will be their random value that they're going to generate for their random black card in this case. So they're thinking of, let's say they choose the 2. Let's say they choose the 2 at the very end there. So they can think of either, of course, the 2 of clubs or the 2 of spades. So let's just say they think of the 2 of clubs. Now, I then ask them to, they would hold the calculator, of course, not showing me the numbers. I would then ask them to deal down a random number based on the numbers they've shown. I also remind them that they could have chosen any of the suits or values, but they have a card in their mind that they've thought of. I have no clue what card they're thinking of, and I haven't done anything to the deck. I've left the deck as is from the very beginning, even before they even thought of a card. So in this case, again, they're thinking of the 2 of clubs. I then get them to deal down each number in turn off the deck of cards. But they have to skip one of the digits that they have used to generate their randomly thought of cards. So in this case, the 2, they're not going to deal the 2, but they'll deal all the rest of the digits. So again, I don't see the digits. They're just dealing the cards down. So they deal the first digit, 3, 1, 2, 3, and as you can see, the second digit there, they deal 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the third digit is 1, And the fourth digit is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the next one is an 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we have two more digits because they can't deal, of course, they're 2, so they deal 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And lastly, they deal 1. And of course, I should have mentioned too, they don't deal the zeros. The zeros have no value, so we ignore zeros. And of course, when they're choosing the card, they can't choose a 0 for their value. So zeros are totally ignored. So lastly, we deal one more card for our last digit. And believe it or not, the card they arrive at will be the perfect soulmate to the card they thought of. And for the first time, they're going to reveal what their card is. And so I would ask them, what is their card? And of course, they say the 2 of clubs. Now let's just see if it's the perfect soulmate to the 2 of clubs. And I turn it over, and there you have it, the 2 of clubs. Now that's how the trick looks. And there's a slight variation, there's a slight alternate ending to this that doesn't change the trick like hardly at all. It's precisely the same thing. It's just a slight modification. Should things turn out slightly different, but it's the exact same way. The cards are never touched throughout the entire effect, and even before they select their thought of card, and they count the cards just like this with their random number to their thought of card, and that's exactly how it looks. So I hope you enjoyed that, and if you liked it enough, please thumb up, and if I get enough thumb ups, I will definitely do a tutorial as soon as I can. And yeah, so again, I appreciate your feedback, and thank you for watching.